Hello and welcome. I'm Annette Reeder from thebiblicalnutritionist.com, and today it's all about how we can starve cancer cells. Now this may be a shock to you, but everyone has cancer cells in their body, but how those cancer cells start to develop and multiply exponentially is what we can help control, and I'm going to teach you 3 ways you can do that today. Also, always know that what I teach you through the Bible diet and through God's recipe for excellent health is always going to keep you ahead of what is being discovered in science. So when it comes to inhibiting cancer cells from growing and stimulating stem cells and understanding angiogenesis, it's always going to start in finding a really good grocery store. So you need to find a grocery store that's going to give you what you're looking for, the quality of what the foods that you're looking for, or you just grow it yourself. And second of all, it's going to depend on what you put on that plate at mealtime. Well, I'm going to teach you many different steps throughout all of the videos and through our courses at Biblical Nutrition Academy. I hope you've checked that out already. Now, before we go inside and grab these 3 foods, be sure and hit the like and subscribe because I want to stay connected to you. The first thing that's most important in your body when it comes to starving cancer is understanding how your blood works. And when your blood is able to filter out toxins, when your blood is able to not send a blood vessel to a tumor cell, then you are the one who lives a long life, a beautiful life, and we're going to explain that here. Well, the first food we're going to look at is kale, and doesn't this just look like a beautiful bouquet? I love how Tom Leonard's does their produce. So let's talk about your bloodstream. So your bloodstream does what we call angiogenesis, and that is building new blood vessels. And kale helps your body to do that. Every time we teach you about the Bible diet, it's all about eating the foods that God called good. He teaches us in Psalm 34:8 to trust Him, to taste and see Him and what He's built for you. Well, this bouquet is meant to be in your body. So what happens with angiogenesis? When you are exercising and you're building muscle, that requires new blood vessels. If you have a heart attack, part of your heart dies because it loses blood vessels. Those blood vessels die. You recover from a heart attack because you grow new blood vessels. If you have a stroke, that means you need to grow new blood vessels. Even when you conceive a child, that umbilical cord is a new blood vessel. This is how our body works. When you have a cut, you need new blood vessels for the healing. All of this is about angiogenesis. Now, I've taught you about angiogenesis before in my other videos, so go check those out below. But here's what happens. When you eat foods like the cruciferous vegetables, which I've taught you about as well, these foods actually stimulate angiogenesis when you need blood vessels, and you need new blood vessels built every single day, but they also inhibit, they cut off blood vessels. In fact, they say no to a tumor cell. So you have tumor cells in your body. They are there. They're just kind of dormant. They're hanging out until they can get a blood vessel sent to them. As soon as they get a blood vessel sent to them, they're 600 times more likely to be explosive in your body. Well, these foods are going to grow new blood vessels to the systems in your body that God created to grow new blood vessels. And these foods are going to cut off blood vessels to a tumor. They're going to say, no, we're not going to supply you. We're not going to feed the bully in the body. Okay, so this is one of the foods that we must get in our diet. Now, Dr. Kiwi, my co-author for the Treasures of Healthy Living Bible Study and the Nutrition Manual, he says, Annette, make sure they're getting in 1 cup of raw cruciferous every day. Well, today I'm talking to you about kale. I have a kale salad recipe. We put kale in our smoothie. Sometimes I'll just chop it up, throw it in some soup. Everything I can do to get kale into our diet on a daily basis. Now, if you're dealing with constipation, you're setting yourself up for disease. So get some kale in your diet every day. Now, if you think angiogenesis is just a beautiful example of God's love, that's just the beginning of what He has for you. Let's move on to the next food. second food we want to look at is kiwi. And a kiwi also is going to go in and protect your blood. Remember I said your bloodstream, it's your lifeline. We know that. That's why Jesus shed his blood, is for our life. There's so much in the blood we need to understand. So kiwi has antioxidants. That's your shield. That's your defense against toxins. And then it has vitamin C. That also goes in and works with your antioxidants, but then it goes in and rebuilds. So when you eat 1 kiwi a day, you are neutralizing toxins by up to 60%. That's like incredible. Do you see why I say the Bible diet's all you need to know to understand so that you can get the benefits? In fact, food really is your medicine, which is why in Psalm 34:8 it says, taste and see that the Lord is good, and how blessed is the man who trusts in him. It's food. Okay, there's more to that verse than food, but I see the food in it. So with just 1 per day, you're going to get the antioxidants, you're going to get the vitamin C, and plus so many other nutrients. And when you eat God's foods, you get such an abundance. You get a buffet of nutrients that man hasn't even discovered all of them, or how it has this bio effect when you combine them all. And so eating 1 per day, you're neutralizing toxins by 60%. Eat 3 a day, and now you're not only neutralizing toxic effects, you're rebuilding your DNA. We all get damaged DNA because of our lifestyle, because of our stress. Let's just talk about stress. Okay, no, we don't have time. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can hear my talk about stress. Bible diet is always our answer. So 3 per day, you're now neutralizing, you're rebuilding, and you're protecting that DNA. Now, don't worry about doing this if you just want to age quickly and be in a lot of pain. Right? So yes, I know you don't want to age quickly, and I know you don't want to be in a lot of pain. Vitamin C helps to get rid of inflammation. Those bellies, that's inflammation. So think about it. Can you enjoy 3 kiwi a day? Maybe that's more than you can eat, but there's other foods that God has given us that have a very similar effect. So I said kale, I said kiwi, but it's the cruciferous family, and it's many of these type fruits. You can even grow kiwi in your yard. So this is very important for us to understand, is that kiwi helps to clean the blood, protect our body, and just help us to look amazingly good and feel good. Now let's go to food number 3. Now the third food is green tea. In fact, 2 to 3 servings per day is actually going to reduce ovarian cancer by 50%. This is again because of the angiogenic effect. Because we get the nutritional benefits, it actually can help by reducing by 50%. What it does is it leverages your body's systems. It's not just one system that it calls into play. It calls into play every single system. So when we give our body the foods that it needs, then it's going to impact our stem cells. It's going to activate multiple defense systems in our body. And this is why it works. Now with food, especially God's foods, it doesn't just happen overnight. It's not a chemo. It's actually, like I said, it's a multi-defense system. So it's going to work in one system. It's going to start in your blood. It's going to start in your digestive system. That's going to travel throughout your body. And it's going to help your body fight what might be happening without you even knowing it. So pay attention to this. These are 3 foods that we need to have in our diet all the time. Now remember, when we leverage our body systems, it's not an overnight. It is a process, and our body responds to the process, and it keeps rebuilding, it keeps re-cleansing, and then we see a growing effect in our body and our health. Well, there you have 3 foods. We got a fruit, a vegetable, and a drink. Realize everything that God created and called good is going to benefit our body. Whether we understand the science, whether we do the research, where we go to NIH or PubMed, wherever we go to do our research, it doesn't matter, because God's foods, following the 3 principles, are going to always bring healing to our body. And so we need to understand that God's foods are going to neutralize the effects of this world before they can cause harm to our body. And that is represented in our bloodstream, in the stem cells, and in our DNA. And then he shows us his love in angiogenesis. I hope that this has stimulated you to think about, what are you feeding your body? Are you ready to starve cancer? Because we need to. It's rampant right now. It's always been rampant, but now it's an exponential rampant. All ages, from newborn all the way up to 100. Everyone is being affected by cancer, and I don't want that to be you. So make sure you pay attention to the Bible diet. The Bible diet will always starve cancer. The Bible diet is just eating the foods God called good and avoiding all those lab experiments. Well, thanks for letting me share with you God's recipe for excellent health, which always begins with understanding how much God loves you. Loves you with an amazing love. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, and He is the one true God. Thanks for watching.